you could join where they'd send you leads, kind of like an Angie List type thing.
Yeah.
And I got a couple leads, legitimate ones. Some of them weren't. But I started with that. I started doing the houses myself, and it grew a little bit, and I hired one person. And to be honest, I really wanted to go into the commercial side. Um, Residential cleaning, it's hard because, for example, I hired somebody, people move, people have a budget and think they want somebody to clean their house, and 7 months later they're like, oh, it's too much for our budget. And there's always something in transition with residential. I know there's companies do it successfully, and God bless them, but for me, I find it was kind of difficult. And so I slowly got a couple commercial accounts, and it just kind of steamrolled, word of mouth, things like that. I did just a little bit of marketing, and it seemed to have really taken off. I was, I think part skill, but a lot of luck.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean with the residential cleaning. I always think, I would never, if I was ever start my own residential cleaning company, which I don't think I would, but if I was going to, I definitely wouldn't want anyone like my wife as a customer, because we've had it before, and she finds something, and
Mhm.
and I'm like, sweetie, like, what do you expect for 2 hours? Like,
Right. Yeah,
uh, and so yeah, so that's a hard one to please people as well, right?
it is.
Very, very, very. So how did you go about making that transition? And what was your first actual commercial cleaning job?
It was actually it was a counseling office. I got that through a lead generation source. And I got there was another office building connected to that, and word of mouth, I got that account, and a couple leads, and then just doing some good work, and kind of word of mouth. And then that was really how it started. And I had some decent websites in the past. Um, and there's a strong demand in the central Pennsylvania area for commercial cleaning. It's competitive, but it seems always something's always coming up where somebody's looking for commercial cleaners. And I was able to move in when some companies weren't really doing a good job. They weren't paying attention to detail. And so that's kind of where I started, like a bit of a niche.
Okay.
And I was also taking on like 1 day a week accounts that some of the bigger companies didn't want.
Yeah.
There's really honestly a decent profit margin in those. They just didn't want to do 1 day a week. And
Yeah.
so I kind of built on that, and it just kept growing and growing and growing.